Hello everyone, Aquamac93 here, and today we're going to be moving on to the second cup of Crash Nitro Kart 2, which is comprised of Wacky Volcano, Anarchy Antarctica, and Bayou Blowout, sorry. So anyways, let's just flip through the characters here. So now, later on in the game, once you unlock more characters, I think the best character is Crush. Unfortunately, he's not an option right now, so I'll just go with Crash again. Alright, we're back. And we're off. Alright, sorry, I just paused there to look something up. So apparently... Oh, shit. Really? Really? I mean, look, right from the start, that's just stupid. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just absolute, I mean, that's deplorable. I mean, it's just, that's utter nonsense right there. That thing looked mean. Ah! Look, the tables have turned. There you go, Nina. Now you've been sucked into the time-space warp thing. Oh, jeez. Jeez, this second cup is definitely, all the NPCs are a lot meaner this time around. Using way more power-ups. Anyways, so I just looked something up, and apparently I was wrong. This game wasn't originally developed for Game Boy or anything like that and ported over. It actually was developed from iOS from the beginning. And apparently there's no mention that it's available on any other platform like Android or whatnot, so... Apparently it's an iOS exclusive. Come on, come on. Nice. I don't think, I think Aku actually is responsible for saving me there. I don't think I knocked it off by jumping. I was too slow. Oh, jeez. Damn it. I was trying to get that right in front of her. Anyways. So yeah, it's an iOS exclusive, this is. So that's pretty awesome. Hopefully you guys appreciate the fact that I did a Let's Play on it then, being that it's kind of a rarity. I believe it's fairly expensive too. I think it, if I recall, it was like maybe $6 to $10 on the iTunes App Store, so that's pretty, or iOS App Store I should say. It's pretty steep. It's a pretty steep price, considering it's, I'd have to say, I mean it's a decent game. I mean, it's definitely the best racing game I've played on iOS. Not that I've played many. I don't tend to game on my iPhone very much. But yeah, I think it's definitely the best. Out of the few racing games I have played on iOS, it's definitely the best one. Yeah, I don't know if that's because I have a Crash Bandicoot bias or whatnot, but I think it's the best racing game, in my experience at least. Nice! Alright, we're first. Alright, next track. What is this, a Polar Express ripoff? Or not Polar Express? I forget what the name of the track is in Crash Team Racing. Ha! Got you, Coco. And the other Crash, the original Crash Nitro Kart for GameCube and PS2, you had this cool feature where you could team up actually, and after getting enough boosts, I think it was, you built up a gauge on the right, and once that gauge was full, you were able to, you and your partner were basically able to scramble a whole bunch of power-ups and release a whole bunch right off the bat. It's kind of not a very obvious feature, though, I have to say. I mean, I remember when I was a kid and I was playing Crash Nitro Kart, it took me quite a long time before I realized that that actually was an option. Typical ice. You know, the ice in the Crash Racing universe is always a lot more generous, let's say, than the ice in, say, the Mario Kart universe. I remember Sherbet Land from Mario Kart Double Dash. That was always the worst experience racing on that track. So far, they don't seem to be as mean with the power-ups this round, the other NPCs. So yeah, overall, I don't think this is a very difficult game. I mean, which is appreciated. One can appreciate having a relatively easy game on an iOS device. I mean, you don't play games on your iOS device necessarily to be frustrated with something super challenging. You're just sort of doing it often to pass the time in the airport or in the line to renew your driver's license or wherever you may be at the time. Oh wow, I'm all the way in first and I got a time-stopping power-up. That's unheard of. Alright, final lap. See what you got, Nina and Ripperoo. I find it funny how they completely switch around which characters are the beginning ones and which are kind of ones you have to earn in this game. Like, well, actually, I guess there's only 3 starting characters. There's Cortex, Crash, and Coco, which are the first 3 you can be. So I guess actually that's pretty expected. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, you're racing against Ripperoo, for example, which is he's typically a boss in every Crash game, and yet he's just a normal racer racing against you, you know, in the track with all the rest of the proletariat. Now, proletariat, that's a good word. I always infamously refer to the bus as Le Chariot de Proletariat. If you want to sound like a snob to your friend that takes the bus, say, "Oh, how was your ride on Le Chariot de Proletariat today?" And first place. Alright, and with that... Oh wait, never mind, one more. What is this? Oh yeah, Bayou Blowout or something. I recall this as being sort of an annoying track, to be honest. I'm not sure I love... Oh, damn. I nearly fell in the water there. I'm not sure I like the music either. It's not very Crash, if you know what I mean. Alright, now there is a shortcut. I just missed it. It was that dirt path that sort of goes over the lake there. Believe it or not, that's a shortcut. But as I seem to recall that the dirt path was kind of... Oh, I guess it's not dirt, it's wood. Alright, yeah, so that was another shortcut right there. Oh, okay, no, this is the one I'm talking about. This is the dirt path, yeah. There's actually quite a few. That's 3 shortcuts in one level. Jeez, people Facebook messaging me here. I really should have turned off my turn on airplane mode to do this LP or something like that. Don't have time to be disturbed by the proletariat. And wouldn't that be something if I became that snobby? I'd just start calling all my friends the proletariat. Little people. Okay, is this the shortcut? Oh, shit. Damn. Damn it, now I'm in second. Oh. Oh, crap. This is awful. Horrid. Oh, it's deplorable, as Winston Howell III would say. Now, share it to proletariat. That is something that Winston Howell III would say. For those of you who don't know who Winston Howell III is, he's the wealthy financier of Gilligan's Island, the TV show from the 60s. I remember as a kid, well, I guess not just as a kid, we still have it now, but my dad loved the show so much that he bought the DVD version of the show. Oh, I missed that shortcut again. Oh well, I guess we're not making that shortcut this time. It probably isn't worth it. I mean, this one's easier to get onto just because of the angle, but the other one is just, it's an impossible angle, to be honest. This shortcut's pretty easy, though. It's probably the easiest shortcut ever in the history of racing game shortcuts. But anyways, Winston Howell III, he's the wealthy financier who paid for the 3-hour voyage of Gilligan's Island, and then they end up getting all shipwrecked together. And he would talk in sort of a upper-class East Coast U.S., almost British but not quite accent, and he'd say things like, "Oh, lovey," you know, that kind of stereotypical one-percenter type of lingo. Anyways, congratulations, you completed the cup in the top 3. Oh, for Christ's sake. Okay, finally. Okay, new cup unlocked. Jeez, I've never had so much trouble pressing a frickin' button. Piece of shit. This is why iOS games suck. This is why I never play games on my iPhone. Even though I was just calling this the best game ever. Anyways, that's cup number 2. Thanks so much for watching this part, and we'll see you next time.